3.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3.
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
Today we're gonna do comedy! Hey, Nick, you know what's the most important thing about comedy?
I don't know.
Timing!
Oh! You got me there.
Indeed. So, we're gonna do overrated comedies.
Oh.
Those that we don't like.
Yes.
And that everybody else does.
Seem to like, yeah. Or, we're successful in a certain way.
Yeah. And so that's the definition of overrated, people.
Go to hell.
Alright, you go first.
Alright. The first one is the whole Meet the Parents series. The first movie, like Meet the Fockers afterwards. Now there's little Fockers that are out. The whole series is based on one joke. That the guy's name is Focker. And his first name is Gaylord.
In fairness, the sequels are based on that joke. Yeah. The first movie is based on the joke that everything that could possibly go wrong happens to him.
Yeah, the first one is a little movie. The sequels are, it's based on the whole, especially like Meet the Fockers, which I hated. I did not laugh once in that movie when my friends, hey, let's watch this, and they were all cracking up, and I was like, what are you, idiots or something? And it's just basically they were laughing the most when somebody with the name Fokker and the first name, and it was the same joke over and over and over again. And okay, honestly, if you present me, I see the news and the prime minister of a certain country is named Gaylord Fokker, I might laugh because that's a funny name. But when it's written, and the scriptwriter wrote the name and said, "Oh, this is a funny name." That's not funny. You just wrote the name and you made it that way, so it's not funny at all.
I agree. Now, I didn't watch the first or second sequel. Yeah. I did watch the first one. It was weird because I was supposed to go as a critic, but I missed the critics showing, the press screening. Yeah. So I had to go on one of those radio show screening where you go on late night there and full of freeloaders who are there to see the movie. And they selected me for a contest to win the soundtrack of the movie where they asked me questions. And I was so not into it because I was there to work. I do not like Robert De Niro in comedies. All he does is squint his eyes and make that, face like that with a jaw dropping down. Yeah. And that's all he does. That is not particularly funny, and that is not an awful lot of variety in it either. And Ben Stiller tends when he plays the neurotic character who has bad luck, he tends to do that same shtick over and over again. I don't like it either. Yeah. So I was like not in the mood, but they selected me out and they were asking me questions and the mic was so loud I couldn't hear and I was not in the mood to even try to figure out what they were asking. So I would just randomly say yes or no to every question. They asked me 10 questions. And they were all yes or no questions. I got all of them wrong. Like, just by pure luck, I managed to get every single one of them wrong. And they just got exasperated and they gave me the soundtrack anyway. And I'm looking at it and it's like, it's Randy Newman. Oh, I hate Randy Newman.
Oh, wow.
And the movie itself was crap, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my experience with Meet the Parents, which, great choice. I don't understand, because the last one, super popular. It was number 1 on the box office for the holiday season. Yeah. And like, really?
Well, here, we'll be as popular as them. Fokker, Fokker, Fokker.
Yeah.
Hey.
My name is Get Screwed. GITSCREUW.
Wow, that is so close to, something that people would say, when they're having sex.
Yeah. Really? You tell your lover to get screwed while you're having sex?
Oh, whatever. You know what I meant. I hate you.
Interesting.
I hate you.
Alright, my pick.
Alright.
American Pie.
Oh.
The entire franchise. The first one was hugely popular. And everybody was like, oh, it's so funny. And
it's our generation's Breakfast Club.
That's what they said, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what they said. Which might be true, and it's kind of sad. Because I know that the generation after us is, John Hugh iconic movie is Mean Girls. And that movie is actually good. Huh. But, I think we are trapped with, American Pie is like, I guess we're just a bunch of nincompoop horn dogs as a generation.
I'll stick with Breakfast Club and I'll pretend it's my generation.
I guess so. Yeah, that movie did not work for me at all. It's okay. First of all, I don't relate to it. That's one of the main problems, and I don't know. Maybe it's an American thing, or maybe it's just that I didn't grow up that way, and maybe Canadians do too. But the whole thing of like, oh, I'm a teenage boy and I need to have sex, otherwise I don't relate to that at all. I never felt that pressure ever growing up.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I had guy friends who, the first time they got a blowjob, they had to tell everybody. But that's not the same as feeling pressure to get it.
Yeah. You've never humped a pie before?
No, well, keep in mind that I had a steady girlfriend throughout my entire high school, and we had sex pretty early. So... So... here's a little bit of disclosure for everybody who needs to know. I had sex before I learned what the word boner means. So, true story. So, I mean, there's part of that where I can't relate, but I not even like looking at my friends. I remember prom. Nobody was going like, I need to find something to hump. Oh my god, oh my god. Like, that never happened to any of my friends.
Yeah, me neither. It's just I don't get it, and it's not funny. It's just not funny, and it got a bunch of sequels that were also not funny.
Yeah, and Sean William Scott, like Stifler.
Oh no, he's the cool character. Everybody has to be like him.
Oh, that's such an annoying, obnoxious character. I have seen a lot of the American Pie movies, again, because of work, and I remember one which I think was Bandcamp, because there are 7 American Pie sequels, for those of you wondering, and I said sequels, not the movies total. The one, I think it was called Bandcamp. That one wasn't bad because, well, Stifler was long gone. It was the little brother of Stifler who was trying to be Stifler because he thought that's what was cool, because his older brother always told him that he was the coolest guy in the world. So as his little brother, he didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And it was all about this kid who, is actually a decent human being, constantly trying to act like a twat because he thinks that's what being cool is, and everybody hating him for it. And actually, that one was the one where it's like, okay, you know what? That joke works. Because A, you can relate to that. Like, you kids do it all the time. Act a certain way that's obnoxious because they think it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And 2, he's a likable character, because deep down, he's not that jackass. And 3, it's not about getting his penis wet. Oh my god!
That is true. Yep. Yeah, so I guess the sequels, one sequel wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is with that movie. I caught them, like, on Comedy Central. Of course, they didn't play the original one. They just played a bunch of sequels. Mm-hmm. And because they didn't want to play the original one, because apparently that's the best one of them.
Which one?
The original American Pie.
Yeah.
The first movie, that's the best one of them. So Comedy Central's not going to pay for that one. It just played all the sequels. And there's, like, one horrible movie after another. But, yeah, I was playing video games at the time, too, so I wasn't paying half attention. It was background noise, wasn't funny. It was painful.
It really was. I mean, and it's weird that everybody thought it was such an amazing movie back in the day. And I think time has been unkind to that movie, because it is the movie that everybody went like, wow, that's going to put Jason Biggs on the map.
Oh, yep.
Yep, time has been very unkind to that movie.
Has anybody from that movie have a career?
Sean William Scott has a decent... Alison Hannigan has a decent career.
Oh, she was not the main character. One of the main characters, though.
Well, in the sequel, she is. So.
Yeah, it's true. Alison Hannigan does not have a career because of that movie, though.
No, that is a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point.
She got a career despite that movie.
Yeah. Well, it brought back a long-standing comedian, the father of...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, Gene. Yeah, Levy or something.
Yeah, that's it, Levy. It brought him back.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful because he's such a talented comedian.
He's probably the best part of those movies.
Yeah. And they were wise enough to keep him in all of the sequels.
I guess he's the only character you can kind of relate to, even though he's a father, because he's not trying to screw everything every 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's another part of Bandcamp where he ends up leading the camp to replace Alison Hannigan, who was, I think, pregnant or something at the time.
Yeah.
Like, not like the character. He's replacing the character. So he's
Okay.
the father of Jason Big is stuck leading band camp. And it's funny because it has that nice angle where he is free to talk about his son when his son is not there and describe how he sort of views his son. And it's like, you know, he's a good father. He loves his son, but yeah, he thinks his son is really weird. You know? And it was one of the funniest joke where, you know, weird stuff happens because it's an American Pie movie, and you know, Junior Stifler gets into embarrassing situations, but not for the same reasons. But it looks like it's for the same reason. So you have Levy just sort of sitting there going, "Let me tell you about my son." It's really funny. Really, it's like, honestly, I'm actually sounding like I'm raving about Bandcamp, but it's because it's like it's not nearly as bad as the other ones. That's all. Yeah, so that was my pick.
All right. Next pick, Seinfeld, and I'm going to. It's not a movie; it's a comedy, but you know, still.
Yeah, it's a sitcom.
Sitcom. And I'm going to, you know, just say, okay, the first few seasons were great. Then Larry David left, and they just did not know what to do with the characters and everything, and it just spiraled down into mediocrity.
Yeah, Larry David being one of the executive producers and writers.
Yes. And people rave, oh, the finale was great. And no, it wasn't. You know, I expect the finale of a comedy show to be funny. And that wasn't funny. It was just, hey, look at all the characters we had in the previous seasons. We're bringing them back.
Yeah, in fairness, most people pan that finale. It's one of the finales regarded as being one of the inferior ones.
Yeah, but actually, you thought, you know, Pink Glasses, people talk about that finale, how it was great and everything.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how, you know, Seinfeld fans, you know, that finale was great. You got to see all the other characters coming back, and it was funny. And no, it wasn't funny. There was not one joke in that whole finale.
No, because it's usually, in my circle, it's usually panned finale.
Yeah.
The series is highly regarded, though.
Well, starting season 4, it really started going down. They didn't know what to do anymore. You know, a show about nothing. They didn't have any more nothing to talk about, so they went into those zany, crazy situations that were...
Well, they went meta a lot for a while, where Seinfeld was pitching his own show.
Yeah, that was actually an okay season. You know, because you could see George acting like Larry David, you know, and all the panics he went through, and that was funny. But yeah, after a while, it was like, whoa, you guys don't know what you're doing anymore.
Yeah, I will admit, I'm one of the few people of my generation who didn't follow Seinfeld. I just sort of caught it whenever it was playing, but made absolutely no effort to catch it. I was too busy watching Mad About You. But yeah, no, I agree. It never caught my attention nearly as much as it did everyone else. And yeah, I mean, like, I agree with you that it's overrated. I still think it's good. Like you said, the early seasons are good. I don't know which seasons I watched, but the episodes I caught I thought were good, but I just didn't think they were that good, you know?
Yeah.
The parking lot episode was actually really hilarious.
Yeah, that was one of the first seasons, if not the first season. And
Okay.
that was hilarious because they're just stuck in the parking lot. And that's what Seinfeld should have been about. Them, you know, being in everyday situations and nothing happens to them, but it's still pretty funny because, you know, that could happen to you. And, you know, them waiting at the restaurant.
Oh, yeah, the Chinese restaurant. That's right. I caught that one, too. That was hilarious as well.
Yeah, it's like, it's nothing special. They don't go on the moon to try and find rocks and everything. No, it's just everyday situation, and it's funny. Then, you know, they lost their everyday kind of stuff in the later seasons.
Yeah, I caught the finale, and that one had nothing to do with everyday. And it's just very stagey. I don't know if it reflects the rest of the series, but the finale was very stagey, where you could see the wheels grinding as they try to set up the situation that's going to lead to the punchline.
Yeah. The later seasons were a lot, very much like that.
That's an interesting pick. I'm going to go with another sitcom as well. I'm going to go with Home Improvement, which actually got 8 effing season, 91 to 99. I was looking that up.
Wow.
Oh, I hate that show. Tim Allen, and it's like, it's, you know, it's a quintessential show of our generation. It aired for, like, you know, our entire teenagehood, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the story of a Neanderthal idiot married to an unsufferable shrew. Like, really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it is one of those frustrating things. Those of you who listen to the podcast know that I am a self-proclaimed feminist. And it is one of those frustrating shows that sort of give really a good argument for feminism gone wrong, actually. Because all of this show is about how men are idiots and they should always listen to their mothering wives, and women are intellectually superior in every way, and women should just accept that men are idiots, and men should accept that they are idiots and they should follow their wives. And it's like, this is such a destructive dynamic, especially since, home improvement was geared towards families, young children. I don't envy the children who grew up with that message being bombarded to them in reruns, in syndication every weekday.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get that message from it. All I remember it tried to do slapstick, and they failed miserably at it when he was doing his Tool Time show, and he got into crazy situations. It's like that's an example of failed slapstick. It was not funny. You could see what was going to happen from a mile away. It happened just the way you thought it was going to happen, and Tim Allen's comedic timing for slapstick is pretty bad. I'm sure he's a good comedian. He probably has good stand-up, but his slapstick is horrible. And
his stand-up is actually funny.
And it wasn't funny.
And it was always the same jokes. That's what got to me the most with Home Improvement. You saw one episode, you got all the jokes. And then if you saw a second episode, it was the same jokes being repeated in a different order. He does his crazy slapstick because he doesn't pay attention when he does the Tool Time thing.
Yeah.
His neighbor doesn't show his face. He goes rah, 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 rah. His children make a mess and he gets blamed for it or whatever. It's always the same situation every episode, and it's the same punchline every episode. It doesn't vary.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
All right. Well, we're going to do third pick.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go back to the realm of movies. Deuce Bigalow. Male Gigolo and the sequel.
European Gigolo.
I did not get it. It's a guy who's tasked to have sex with weird people. And I guess you're supposed to laugh at the weird people because they're weird. That was not funny.
I did not watch that movie. I just saw the previews and went like, no.
Rob Schneider is great as, a co-star, second guy.
He's not even that great at that.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's mostly offensive.
Yeah, he's better than he is as the main actor. Because oh man, that was just painfully unfunny.
I'm sure it looked terrible. But it's European. Deuce Bigalow. Well, I guess they did a sequel, so it must have been popular.
Yeah, it was popular enough to warrant a sequel. I don't know if the sequel was very popular or not. I know it was critically panned.
Yeah.
The Roger Ebert review of that sequel is probably funnier than the sequel itself. You should check it out, RogerEbert.com. His review of that of the sequel is hilarious.
By the title European Gigolo, I get the feeling that it's probably did a good in foreign market.
I don't know. He just goes to, I remember that he goes to Europe to be a gigolo, and he basically goes to have sex with all the European stereotypes. Like, Scandinavian women are giant and tall, and that's supposed to be funny, and, it's ridiculous.
Xenophobia is hilarious!
Yes!
Alright, my final pick, anything by Jim Carrey. With Jim Carrey, I'm sorry. Anything with Jim Carrey. Be it Ace Ventura, The Mask, or Dumb and Dumber. All three of which came out in 94, apparently.
Wow.
All terrible, terrible stuff. I do not understand why Jim Carrey was so popular at the time that he just, exploded on the scene.
He makes funny faces. Funny faces are funny.
Well, I saw his Ventura, and he doesn't even make funny faces so much as he makes funny faces with his butt throughout most of the movie.
Yeah.
It's really painful.
The only movie I saw was the sequel to Ace Ventura, and I say saw because again, my funny friends, I wanted to show us, it's a great movie, so let's watch it. And me and another guy, we just saw the opening scene, and one of our friends, there's something wrong, they're not laughing, and we're like, yeah, we're not laughing because it's not funny. And so we finally watched something else. Unfortunately, that something else was Meet the Fockers.
Oh,
where we still didn't laugh, but
I think I might have gone with Ace Ventura actually.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the first scene of the movie where it really was not funny, and they were laughing, and it's okay. I can see where the jokes are.
Yeah, well, it's obvious to see where the jokes are because Jim Carrey sort of telegraphs them as like loudly as humanly possible. So yeah, he's practically screaming, "That's a joke!" with every line. But like, and even like his later movies where people are like, no, like this is the turning point for Jim Carrey where he became a real actor, and like The Truman Show, crap.
It was supposed to be a comedy, but it wasn't a good movie.
Well, it is a comedy. It's a satirical comedy. It's a more serious comedy.
Yeah, okay.
Still crap, and everybody, he's really good in it. No, he's just not awful in it. He's still pretty crap. He's just not bull crap.
I guess.
And the movie, boring. And its message, ponderous and pretentious. Crap. Nothing. Okay, wait. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Good movie. Everything else with Jim Carrey in it, crap.
What about Batman
Forever.
Batman Forever.
Crap. And not only crap because of him. Because Batman Forever was all about reproducing that 60s feel of the early Batman TV show. I'm guessing Joel Schumacher just sort of grew up with it and went like, no, this is what Batman is. Like, not that Tim Burton stuff. And he sort of reproduced that, and everybody's playing to that note, and it's actually quite funny, including Val Kilmer, and certainly Tommy Lee Jones does it perfectly, like the cackling madman. He's perfect. He's like Cesar Romero doing the Joker. He's pitch perfect, except effing Jim Carrey, who just screams every line and chews the scenery throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, the Riddler in the 60s movie was more tame than that, really.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do campy in the Batman 60s styles, it's a very specific type of campy. You just can't just do anything and scream and wail about and go like, hey, look, they gave bad performance. That's a bad performance. Like, they didn't give bad performances. They gave campy performances.
Yeah.
Fail. Actually, I'm gonna launch a challenge to the listeners. Find me, apart from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I admit, terrific movie, find me another good Jim Carrey movie. That you'll get bragging rights, and we'll try to come up with a prize. In fact, list the movie and then put under it what you want as a price, something reasonable, please. We're not saying that we're going to give it to you, but if it's reasonable, we're going to try. But you're going to fail anyway, so I'm not really all that worried. Because he has not played good movies.
I might enter that.
Yeah, go ahead. And on that note, I guess now it's time for The Electric Boogaloo Factory.
Favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah. Woo! For those of you who are new, The Electric Boogaloo Factory is when we take a franchise that doesn't deserve a sequel, or a 9th sequel, and we try to make a sequel out of it. And, well, with the Over-Under series, what we try to do is take some of our overrated picks to make sequels out of it. Why don't you go ahead, Nick? What did you pick?
I want to pick Meet the Fockers. And since it's very easy, you just need a catchy title.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Dead Fockers. They're mourning the death of the Robert De Niro character. And, you know, all you need for that movie is just a bunch of names with Fokker behind it. So you could have, like, Happy Fokker, Dirty Fokker, P. Diddy Fokker. And, you know, that's all you need for the movie.
There is one flaw in your synopsis there. Nobody would mourn the death of the Robert De Niro character.
I guess his daughter would, because his daughter has, like, this attachment to him that everything he does is normal, and I don't get that, but, you know, she would mourn him, so the Ben Stiller character is forced to go to the funeral with her, and, you know, he brings a bunch of Fockers with him, and that would be the movie.
Yeah, I can just see the eulogy. Like, I honestly can see it, the way that these movies tend to be written, where he goes like, I know that, you know, we weren't really related by blood, says Ben Stiller about Robert De Niro, but in my mind, he was a fucker. He was a great big fucker. I can see them going with that joke throughout the entire sermon, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, I would not watch that anymore. Alright, my turn. Yeah, like you, I'm gonna pick a franchise that has quite a few sequels. I'm going to do the 7th and 8th sequel to American Pie.
Alright.
2 sequels in one Electric Boogaloo entry. It occurs to me that they've done pretty much everything you can do about, you know, male and female sexuality in the American Pie series. Well, less female, but sort of, kind of, with the Alison Hannigan character.
Yeah.
But what they haven't done is homosexual relationships and sexuality. So I think that's what I would want to tackle. So I would like release 2 movies at the same time, or dealing with that. One for the gay males and one for the gay females. So it would be American Clam and American Corn Dog.
Awesome.
I think so. So, like, both movies would follow a group of lesbians and a group of gay men who really want to get laid. So they go out, and because they're not straight, they just get laid, because it's really that easy when you're not straight. The end.
How long are your movies?
As long as they need to be, which is minus 5 seconds.
Because, you know, in the first movie, the whole point is getting laid. And at the end, they realize that, yeah, okay, maybe getting laid is not that important. And they get laid anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and then they go try to get laid in the second movie all over again.
Exactly. So, how long does it take for your characters to realize that, you know, hey, we can get laid between each other?
Want to F? Yeah, okay.
All right.
So I guess that's it for the Electric Boogaloo Factory and the podcast. So let us know your overrated picks for comedies. And let us not forget, try to find that Jim Carrey movie that is not Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind. That's actually good.
All right.
So that's a lot of homework for you guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Is the whole Meet the Parents series. The first movie, like Meet the Fockers afterwards. Now there's little Fockers that are out. The whole series is based on one joke. That the guy's name is Fokker, and his first name is Gaylord.
In fairness, the sequels are based on that joke. Yeah. The first movie is based on the joke that everything that could possibly go wrong happens to him.
Okay, yeah, the first one is a little movie. The sequels are, yeah, it's based on the whole, you know, especially like Meet the Fockers, which I hated. I did not laugh once in that movie when my friends, hey, let's watch this, and they were all cracking up, and I was like, what are you, idiots or something? And it's just basically they were laughing the most when somebody with the name Fokker and the first name, and it was the same joke over and over and over again. And okay, honestly, if you present me, you know, I see the news and the prime minister of you know, a certain country is named Gaylord Fokker, I might laugh because that's a funny name. But when it's written, and you know, the scriptwriter wrote the name and said, "Oh, this is a funny name." That's not funny. You just wrote the name and you made it that way, so it's not funny at all.
I agree. Now, I didn't watch the first or second sequel. Yeah. I did watch the first one. It was weird because I was supposed to go as a critic, but I missed the critics showing, the press screening. Yeah. So I had to go on one of those radio show screening where you go on late night there and full of freeloaders who are there to see the movie. And they selected me for a contest to win the soundtrack of the movie where they asked me questions. And I was so not into it because I was there to work. I do not like Robert De Niro in comedies. All he does is squint his eyes and make that, you know, face like that with a jaw dropping down. Yeah. And that's all he does. That is not particularly funny, and that is not an awful lot of variety in it either. And Ben Stiller popular. It was #1 on the box office for the holiday season. Yeah. And like, really?
Well, you know, here, we'll be as popular as them. Fokker, Fokker, Fokker.
Yeah.
Hey.
My name is Get Screwed. GITSCREUW.
Wow, that is so close to, you know, something that people would say, you know, when you're having sex.
Yeah. Really? You tell your lover to get screwed while you're having sex?
Oh, whatever. You know what I meant. I hate you.
Interesting.
I hate you.
Alright, my pick.
Alright.
American Pie.
Oh.
The entire franchise. The first one was hugely popular. And everybody was like, oh, it's so funny. And
it's our generation's Breakfast Club.
That's what they said, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what they said. Which tends when he plays the neurotic character who has bad luck, he tends to do that same shtick over and over again. I don't like it either. Yeah. So I was like not in the mood, but they selected me out and they were asking me questions and the mic was so loud I couldn't hear and I was not in the mood to even try to figure out what they were asking. So I would just randomly say yes or no to every question. They asked me 10 questions, you know, and they were all yes or no questions. I got all of them wrong. Like, just by pure luck, I managed to get every single one of them wrong. And they just got exasperated and they gave me the soundtrack anyway. And I'm looking at it and it's like, it's Randy Newman Oh, I hate Randy Newman.
Oh, wow.
And the movie itself was crap, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my experience with Meet the Parents, which great choice. I don't understand because the last one, super.
2, 3.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Idiomatic Top 3.
With Nicholas, I am the gaming correspondent for Idiomatic.
And I am Dimitri, editor-in-chief of Idiomatic and movie critic.
Today we're gonna do comedy! Hey, Nick, you know what's the most important thing about comedy?
I don't know.
Timing!
Oh! You got me there.
Indeed. So, we're gonna do overrated comedies.
Oh.
Those that we don't like.
Yes.
And that everybody else does.
Seem to like, yeah. Or, we're successful in a certain way.
Yeah. And so that's the definition of overrated, people.
Go to hell.
Alright, you go first.
Alright. The first one